Hello there, and welcome to the video, and welcome to the west coast of Sweden. And of course, it's raining. So I'm here just on a small little photography expedition, just indulging on my curiosity of exploring new areas. I've never been to this part of Sweden before. It's really interesting to me and it looks awesome. Tonight we are just taking a couple of images with smaller formats of 35mm with my lovely little Minox camera, and maybe one or two digital images if we find something a bit more special. This is just to get a bit of a bearings of first little outing here, and hopefully it won't rain too much on us. So we are just for a small little walk and then back to the cabin. I might actually have to put on my rain covers. There's a small little hut down there. I think I'm going to search a big cover there and put on my rain covers before I get totally soaked. So yeah, the hut wasn't of much use. There's a lot of stuff in the way here, so you can't really get in it. I'm standing here just because the roof is sticking out a bit, so it gives some sort of shelter. Not much though. I put on the rain jacket, as you can see. I haven't put down the rain trousers though, because my trousers got soaked super quick. It was quite heavy rain all of a sudden. And put on rain trousers on top of that will just trap the moisture. So I think I'll just keep them on and head back to the cabin actually. The rain doesn't seem to let go, and I checked the forecast now and it has changed. It's now forecasted to be rain for the rest of the night here. So I think I'm just going to head back to the cabin and get dry and warm and get some food instead. I will have to do the exploration tomorrow instead. Brand new day, a lot nicer to be out today. Clear blue skies, almost still wind, a bit chilly still. It's only like 5-8 degrees Celsius outside, but that's okay. It's just lovely being out, especially as the main focus today is doing this little hike around this half island. So lately I've actually started embracing these clear blue skies, especially during the mornings when the sun is still somewhat low. It gives quite a lot of nice contrast and a lot of shadows and that sort of thing, which is quite fun to play around with and gives shape to the landscapes, especially in a landscape like this. I think they try and brand this as the land of cliffs, and it's cool. It's really cool, this part of the country, I think. So the first image here, I'm not too sure about it. Am I ever? But what caught my eye was this small rock that is hanging out, so it has a bit of an overhang. It looked kind of interesting to me, and then the sun hitting it and giving it a bit of a shape that would look interesting to me. I needed to position my camera quite low, so I had some sky behind it, so you actually see that it is overhanging and hanging in the air there, and then that meant going quite low, and then an afterthought here of including some foreground with these small bushes here and the rocks. There's a small tree as well. It might work. It's more a warm-up image. There are rarely the best, but it's always good to get the ball rolling. And we'll continue this hike around this half island and see what we see. Hopefully we get a couple more images. The first image rarely is the best image for me, but it is the most important one for me. It's the one that gets things going, and it kind of calibrates my eye to start seeing images. As this one here, just walking by, walking back here, heading back to the route I'm following around this half island, as I mentioned before. I noticed these rocks here, quite cubic rocks, quite interesting shape to them for me. Then they have quite a stark or strong contrast to them, with a strong shadow from the sun, and beyond there we have the sea and this little bay here, a couple of rock formations out there, and then quite a nice gradient in the sky as well, which I think will work quite nice in black and white. Took one with red filter and one without. Red filter just to emphasize that sky and making it even darker, and one without, which will give it a bit more softer feel, which we'll see which one I end up liking the most. Also did two compositions here, or two variants. One where I pushed everything down to the bottom third, that was my first idea. One more like a traditional, where I actually have filled the frame with the subject or something. But one with a lot of negative space and one without. This felt a bit random. All of a sudden we find ourselves in the woodlands. I did read about it in the brochure I got at the check-in desk, but still felt kind of random. Even it's quite beautiful woodlands. Maybe even potential for some photography here. But I didn't travel here for, what, 5 hours? Photograph the woodlands. I'm here for the cliffs, those smooth, kind of special west coast cliffs of Sweden. So we're just going to walk quite briskly past this woodland, and we'll soon find us back at the cliffs. So for this trip I didn't pack my telephoto lens from my Hasselblad, the long lens, as I wanted to save a bit on the weight. Kind of figure I might regret it, and I kind of do now. But I do have my digital camera with the 16-80, so it's quite a good reach on that lens. And this, I think this is probably the most photographed houses at this place. There's two small houses in the far there, one white and one red. And then cliffs beyond, and then you have the little bay there with the sea behind the red little cabin, I suppose it is. or hut perhaps. Only tricky part is isolating the red hut so it has only sea behind it. Otherwise, besides that, it's quite straightforward. Looked pretty enough, so I just took it with the digital. A shame I didn't pack the long lens for the Hasselblad. So we made it back to the cabin. It was a nice hike. Took quite a long time. I actually cut it off at halfway point, so I did 7 or 8 kilometers. But when I'm doing photography, it takes quite a lot longer time than just hiking. Of course it does. And on top of that, filming myself. And I am quite a cumbersome photographer, if you like. I like to take my time with subject and the composition, that sort of thing. Being quite minute with things. I'm quite a bit envious on photographers that are effortless, or at least seems to be effortless. I'm thinking of the guys like Grainy Days or Bad Flashes. I love their videos, they're great. And especially Grainy Days, I really like his photography as well. And I'm quite a bit jealous of how effortless he makes it look, at least. I suppose they put quite a lot of work into their videos, as they are just great. One thing that has helped me is this little camera, the Minox 35 GT, about the same size as a roll of film. Trumping the old Roller 35 as the smallest 35mm camera. I actually think a Minolta later on made an even smaller one. But yeah, it's great. This is actually my second one. The old one I had shown in this channel had an aperture that got stuck, and they're fairly cheap on eBay if you look around, costing about the same as 2 rolls of Ektachrome, so that's okay. I just bought another one. Makes it a bit easier just having it in pocket and taking it out and just taking a couple of snapshots. So I've been doing that today as well and actually finished off this roll. On the Hasselblad though, I made only 9 exposures. And that's with a couple of double takes and a couple of triple takes actually on a couple of the scenes. So I am quite minute with that camera. But that's just me. Luckily there are guys like Ben Horn, Thomas Heaton, Nick Carver on YouTube as well. Makes me feel a bit better with myself. I don't claim us to be as good as of a photographer as those guys. I think they are excellent, but they're kind of my inspiration. So the plan now is I'm going to relax a bit, have a bit of food, and then head out on the trail later on, photographing with the large format in the evening light. But I actually think we are going to end the video here, and I'll do that as a part 2, and then might be even a part 3, we'll see. So until next time, do take care, and bye for now.